You guys ready? No? Hey, Rich. Walk up there and see if they're ready. I don't know if they're ready or not. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is quite an honor to be here today for Canfield's annual Veterans Day celebration. It's so refreshing to see so many wonderful guests here, veterans and people of the community. Thank you so much for attending. You're always welcome at Canfield High School. I want you to know that. At this time, as is our tradition, Canfield High School starts off most assemblies with what we call a formal entrance by our seniors to show them respect and to kind of set the tone. So if I can have everybody please stand at this time and remain silent. Thank you. You may be seated. Before we present the colors and have the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem, just a few brief words. It is my privilege to welcome students, faculty, and honored guests that we have here today. We're gathered here this morning in recognition of Veterans Day. We're gathered here also to take a moment out of our hurried lives to pay tribute to the men and women who have served in our United States Armed Forces. We're also gathered to reflect with humility and honor on the personal sacrifices of the many men and women who have given their lives so that we can live freely, the great freedoms and the rights that are granted to us as citizens of the United States of America, this great nation. They gave their lives so that we could have the right to live as a nation of individuals who can freely express our individuality without ever losing focus of the fact that we are all Americans. For this, our veterans deserve our deepest respect and our unwavering gratitude. Our gathering this morning is one of the highest decorum. As we honor our veterans, I respectfully ask that all in attendance assist us as we proceed with reverence and respect. What's going to happen in a second is we're going to present the colors. I'm going to ask you to stand, not now, and the colors will be presented by the American Legion. We're very, very happy to have them here. And we are going to remain standing. Mr. Crescenzo Sheets, Senior Class President, is going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and then our band is going to play the national anthem. Please rise and remain silent.
Post colors. Render hand salute. 1, 2.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, proud to present Mr. O'Donnell and our band, who is going to perform for you a selection called Patriotic Salute. So please remain seated and enjoy. over the years at our Veterans Day celebrations, we've had many really great speakers. We've had people from the community, people from parents, family members. We had Mayor Duffett come one year. Of course, he's a Naval Academy guy. My father was in the Army, so we don't talk about that, but he did a great job. And we're very, very fortunate today. I reached out to the Youngstown Air Force Base here in Youngstown, the Reserve Air Force Base, and it's really my pleasure to introduce our featured speaker. I'd like to say a few words about her. Her name is Staff Sergeant Dana Greenlee, and she's United States Air Force. She's a member of the 910th Air Wing, again in the Youngstown Air Force Base. Joined the Air Force in 2006, 16 years of service to this country. A hydraulic mechanic on C-130 stationed in Little Rock, Arkansas Air Force Base for 14 years. She's been at the Air Force Reserve recruiter for the Youngstown and surrounding area for 2 years. She has deployments in 2 tours in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan, and 1 in Jordan. She's been all over the world protecting our freedoms. She's a long list of awards. Some of the major ones include 2 Achievement Medals, Meritorious Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Air and Space Outstanding Unit Award Medal. Would you please give a rousing Canfield welcome to Staff Sergeant Dana Greenlee.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Veterans Day, happy Friday. I know you're probably excited about that. So I'm very thankful to be here speaking in front of you. It's definitely a pleasure to be here seeing all your smiling faces and to be a part of this great ceremony. I am super impressed so far. It's definitely been one of the best ceremonies I've been to, and we're not even halfway through it. So thank you again for allowing me here to speak. So I'd like to start off today with a quote. It's one of my favorite. It says, "This nation will remain the land of the free only as long as it is the home of the brave." I think that just kind of summarizes the military so perfectly. Okay, I am Technical Sergeant Dana Greenlee. I've been in the Air Force for a little over 16 years, which is about as long as a lot of you have been alive in this room, so that's fun. So yes, I'm a hydraulic mechanic by trade. The planes that you see flying over, the ones that fly really low, those are the ones that I've worked on. Those are my babies, so they're typically out here doing the spray mission. So I was always out in my dad's garage working on stuff. Turning wrenches was something that I really loved and what I was good at, so that's kind of how that happened. And then I became a recruiter out here in Youngstown about 2 years ago. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here to talk to you about Veterans Day and what serving means to me. So a lot of people have asked me throughout my years why I wanted to join and what made me want to serve. So I just think it's fitting today that I tell my story, I tell my why on Veterans Day. So ever since I can remember, I've always kind of had this drive inside me to do things that others aren't willing to or aren't capable to do. I've always been a very competitive person. I think that started at a young age playing sports. I always just kind of strive to be the strongest, the fastest, all of that on my team so that I could be the one to carry us when we needed that. Something about being relied on in difficult times was just so motivating to me, and it always has been. So with that being said, it only made sense for me to join the military. I decided in about 10th grade, I think, that that's what I wanted to do, so I just took all the steps and made it happen. I signed up about 2 months before I turned 18, so I still had to wait about 8 months until I graduated high school, and then I left for basic training. So I said goodbye to my family, and away I went. I ended up graduating at the top of my flight with the fitness award. Once again, my competitive side, wouldn't accept anything less, so still going. At that time, I was so happy. I always looked up to the men and women that served our country, and I was finally one of them. The sense of pride that I felt to be able to become what I aspired to be was irreplaceable. I was so proud to be a part of the military, but something was still missing. I knew that I wouldn't feel completely fulfilled unless I actually got overseas and contributed to the fight. I felt like I owed it to my fellow service members to get over there and be a part of what these men and women were fighting for, and unfortunately, some not coming home for. I was only in for about a year when I volunteered for my first deployment. So little 19-year-old me over there in Iraq, working 12, 14-hour days on the flight line, making sure that the planes were good to go to take off, making sure that they got fixed when they came in, mostly replacing brake lines though, because of all the less than smooth runways we have over there, a lot of rocks and that kind of damage, so I got pretty good at that. Anyway, I was over there doing what I believed was my duty, my responsibility and commitment to this country. No matter how hard or long the days over there were, or how incredibly hot it was. Man, it gets hot over there. It was the one thing that kept me going was the fact that I was over there so someone else didn't have to be. I was over there so my family didn't have to be. And that's what it's all about to me. That's what Veterans Day, why it's so special to me. We get to recognize and honor the ones who selflessly volunteered to make the sacrifice so that someone else didn't have to. More importantly, we get to honor the ones who didn't make it back, the ones who truly made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. I know that we have Memorial Day for that, but I also feel like Veterans Day, we should celebrate them and honor them as well. We can honor them in a way that their friends and families will feel supported and at peace, knowing how much their sacrifice truly means to this country and how much it is appreciated. All right, in closing, I'd like to leave you with another quote. This one, it just really hits home to me. It's one of my favorite, and it just has a lot of meaning. It goes, "Some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they've ever made a difference in the world, but the ones who serve don't have to wonder." Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate being here.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Greenlee, for those words, and thank you for your service to this country to help keep us free. Very, very important. At this time, you may remain seated, and you're going to listen to our great choir give us a rendition of America the Beautiful.
Majesties Thank you, Ms. Skirch and Choir. Very well done. I appreciate that. At this time, the band, under the direction of Mr. Donald, will be playing the Armed Forces on Parade. When I call each branch of the military, I'd ask that you please stand if you served or are currently serving, or especially for our staff and students, if you have any family members that have served in that branch, I would ask you to rise and be recognized at that time as well. All right, Mr. O'Donnell. Members of the United States Army, please stand. United States Marine Corps, please stand. United States Navy, please stand. United States Air Force, please stand. And the United States Coast Guard, please stand. I want to give you all an opportunity to see what I just saw. Okay, so, because we have some band members up here who didn't get this chance either. But if you just stood on any of those military branches, would you stand quietly right now? Everybody that stood, band members included. If you have anybody that serves as well, would you stand? Take a look around at what I saw. Look at the number of people affected just in this auditorium today. Okay, amazing. So I want to thank all of you, whether you're a service man or woman, veteran, or a family member. This is an amazing, amazing number of people in this auditorium. So why don't you go ahead and be seated. Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to ask the band to go ahead and stand up and make their way off the stage, okay? And we have some area down here in the front, Mr. O'Donnell, right for everybody, so we're going to be good there. For the next part of our assembly. As they're making their way off, let me just say on behalf of the Canfield Board of Education, I see Mr. Smallwood here in attendance today. Thank you, sir. And myself as superintendent. I want to take a minute to thank all of our veterans and honored guests in attendance today. I know the weather was a little tough today, but I really appreciate you all being here. As many of you know, if you've heard me talk, I'm very passionate about the military. My dad served in the Navy in World War II, and this day is special for me. As superintendent, you don't really always have a lot of what I call teachable moments, but today is one of them. And this is a day that I love and enjoy, and so glad that we're doing this here in Canfield. So I guess young people, my hope at the end of the day is you get a better understanding of what the sacrifices our military have been through and a better appreciation for their service. I want to take a minute to, hold on, watch this right here. You guys didn't think I was that quick, did you? All right. So I want to thank, first of all the folks that participated today, all of our student body. They did a fantastic job. I want to thank Mr. Maldivon for putting this assembly together. It means a lot to me. And for all of you that are red, white, and blue today, red's always easy in Canfield, all right? But for everybody wearing the patriotic colors, I really appreciate that. And I also want to remind our honored guests that when we're done today, we have a nice breakfast for you. We're just going to walk right out and get in the cafeteria. If you could stay around for a few more minutes, we'd love to have breakfast with you and spend some time there as well. Finally, we have a video that you're going to see today from many of you that submitted family members that have served. And this was created by Mr. Jennings, a teacher here at the high school, and I want to publicly thank him for all his time and effort in putting this together. I know how much time it takes. I want to thank him for that. So at this time, please enjoy this tribute to our community veterans.
Just a few words before we have our last part of the ceremony. First of all, a huge congratulations to our students and staff who did a fantastic job here. It's really appreciated. Fantastic. Reminder to our guests from the community that there is a breakfast after this is over. The last part of our ceremony is the playing of taps, a very famous bugle call played at funerals and on military bases all across the world. So what we'd like to ask you to do is, would everyone please stand? When taps is over, in order to show reverence, we would ask students to file out silently and go to your first block class. Thank you.